There are some mysteries that can never be explained, where no answers exist, only questions. These are the cases that leave us with more fear than resolution. What happened to those who vanished without a trace? What dark secrets do these mysteries conceal, hidden behind layers of time, fear, and uncertainty? Today, we are diving into 5 of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries in history. Prepare to journey into the unknown. Mystery number 1. The vanishing of the Sodder children. It was Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family was preparing for the holiday, but a devastating fire would change their lives forever. At approximately 1 a.m., a fire broke out in the family's 2-story home. As flames consumed the structure, George and Jenny Sodder managed to escape with 5 of their children. However, 5 others, including their youngest daughter, Betty, were never seen again. Here's the thing. No remains were ever found in the rubble. When the fire was extinguished, authorities reported no signs of human remains, which would be expected in a fire of that size. Yet, when firefighters combed through the wreckage, they found no trace of the children's bodies. Authorities quickly declared the 5 children dead, but George and Jenny refused to accept this conclusion. Why was there no evidence of their deaths? Was the fire a cover-up for something darker? Over the years, there were numerous reports from witnesses who claimed to have seen the children alive after the fire, sometimes even in different cities. One witness reported seeing them in a diner in Charleston, West Virginia, years after the fire. The Sodders continued to search for answers, even going so far as to have an investigation into a possible kidnapping. They posted a reward for information and even hired private investigators, but the case remained unsolved. In 1952, the family received a cryptic photograph in the mail, which appeared to show one of the missing children. The photograph was postmarked from a distant city. Was this a clue, or was someone toying with the grieving family? Theories vary from a tragic accident to a more sinister kidnapping attempt. Some even suspect that the fire was set deliberately to cover up a criminal enterprise. To this day, the case remains one of the most disturbing unsolved disappearances in U.S. history. Mystery number 2. The ghost ship MV Joyita. In 1955, the MV Joyita set sail from Samoa with 25 passengers and crew members on board. The ship was a sturdy, reliable vessel, traveling on what should have been a routine trip. But something went terribly wrong, and the ship disappeared. When it was finally located, adrift on the Pacific Ocean weeks later, it was found completely abandoned. The Joyita was in rough condition, but there was no sign of what caused the distress. Bloodstains were found aboard, and there was evidence that the crew and passengers had fled in a hurry, but there were no bodies. The most chilling fact was that the lifeboats were missing, yet there were no signs that the passengers had used them to escape. The ship's log had ended abruptly, with no further communication from the crew. At the time, authorities ruled out piracy, as no ransom demand was made. The theory of a mutiny was also dismissed, as there were no signs of a struggle on board. Was there a supernatural cause behind the disappearance? Could the ship have been attacked by something unseen? Theories range from pirates to alien abductions, but none provide any definitive answers. Even after extensive investigations, the cause of the disappearance of the MV Joyita remains one of the most chilling unsolved maritime mysteries. Mystery number 3. The Somerton Man. In 1948, a man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. The man was well dressed, with no identification and no personal items on him. His cause of death was undetermined. But what really made this case eerie was the cryptic note found in his pocket, which read the words, "Tamam shud," meaning, "It is finished." This was a reference to a Persian poem called the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Inside the book, a code was found that remained unbreakable for years. Was this a secret message? What did it mean? Was it linked to espionage? Did the man have ties to an international network? The case became even more mysterious when investigators discovered that the book had been carefully placed on a nearby car, and the code was linked to an unknown cipher. Some believe the man was a spy who had been involved in a covert operation, and the poison found in his system was meant to ensure he never spoke. Others suspect he was a victim of a failed secret mission. To this day, the identity of the Somerton man remains a mystery, and no one knows how he came to die on that Australian beach. Was he a spy, a victim, or a mysterious figure from the shadows? Mystery number 4. The Dyatlov Pass Incident in February 1959. 9 experienced hikers set off on a ski expedition in the Ural Mountains of Russia. They were led by Igor Dyatlov, and their mission seemed like any other routine trek. But what happened next would become one of the most disturbing and puzzling incidents in Russian history. When rescuers found the hikers' abandoned tent, it was slashed open from the inside, as though the hikers had cut their way out in a desperate escape. The hikers were found scattered in the snow, some of them barefoot and barely clothed. Some of them had terrible internal injuries, but there were no external wounds, and radiation traces were found on their clothing. One of the bodies was even missing its tongue. Theories about the incident range from an avalanche to a military experiment gone wrong, but none of them fully explain the horrifying nature of the deaths. Some have suggested the involvement of mysterious creatures or even UFO sightings reported in the area before the incident. No one knows what really happened that night. All we have are strange and terrifying pieces of a puzzle that will likely remain unsolved forever. Mystery number 5. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 on March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, carrying 239 people, vanished without a trace. The plane took off from Kuala Lumpur, headed for Beijing, but somewhere over the South China Sea, it lost contact with air traffic control. What followed was a massive search operation, one of the largest in aviation history. The mystery deepened when it was discovered that the plane's transponder was deliberately turned off, and its course was altered for several hours. Despite multiple theories about mechanical failure, terrorism, and hijacking, the plane's whereabouts remained unknown for months. Wreckage eventually washed up on islands in the Indian Ocean, but the black box, the key to understanding what happened on that fateful flight, was never found. Investigators could not determine why the plane diverted so drastically from its course, and many questions remain unanswered. Was it hijacked? Was it a malicious act? Or was it simply a tragic accident caused by unforeseen circumstances? Until this day, the world waits for answers that may never come.